it's almost a guarantee. You dig race the car, at some point, it might not break for 10
passes,
runs, 100 passes, but it's going to break. And the shit's 30 grand, 35 grand. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you're buying a Hellcat, a used Hellcat for what he's got in the training. So everybody's upset. Race your car like a man. He didn't call these guys out like a man. He said, yo, I'll race them from a roll. And the unfortunate truth is, you know, somebody asked me about this the other day. Yo, what's up with Dan and these Hellcats? Is this shit really that fast? It doesn't have to be that fast. And I say this with the utmost respect because they're cool cars. The Hellcats, they have a lot of potential. They're awesome street cars. There's way more of them out there than GTRs. But they're just not with one of these cars on the street from a roll, period.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. And like I said, it's just a fact. Like, I tried doing a little research today because I knew you guys were coming. I couldn't even find the fastest 60 to 130 for a Hellcat. Trying to get in the 4s, trying to get in the 5s. I'm sure there's 3-second cars out there, but like the only thing on the street from a roll that's fucking with a well-built GTR and a well-set-up GTR is another fast GTR.
What's up, guys? We're at the shop Houston. We got DanRue and Mac on the pod.
I told you.
All right, guys, y'all like, subscribe, put it in the comments who y'all want on the next podcast.
Welcome back to Go Hard Podcast. I'm your host, Noel.
I'm your co-host, Lucio Team Billet.
Man, we back at it at the shop Houston. Thank you, Mac, for letting us come in the shop Houston again. We got DanRue on the pod. We got the main one at shop Houston.
Yeah.
Pretty much. The heavy hitter.
We got the heavy hitter and we got the rice cooker right there too.
No.
We're starting on a bang.
No. You can't say that about Dan.
They're all rice cookers.
We gotta fool around, man. We're joking around today.
Yeah. So, guys, we're on here. We're gonna talk about the shop. We're talking about his car. You know, talk about, you know, obviously the call outs with the GTRs, pretty much versus the world, versus, you know, every road racing in the US. You know, we're talking about a lot on the pod with Mac. Introduce yourself.
What's going on, guys? Mac Roslin, one of the owners here at the shop Houston. You can see in the background, everything like that. It's great to have these guys here. I'm sure somebody had to address it at some point because it's kind of getting a little hot. I heard him say with the GTRs, plural, all I've seen is maybe people calling out DanRue. Probably for
Gonna bring
cause,
the big guns.
you know?
Yeah.
But I guess we'll have to go through it.
So GTRs with, like, you're talking about US GTR? You're talking about the shop
no,
Houston
I'm saying
GTRs?
earlier you said there's a lot of calls with GTRs,
Oh,
plural,
okay,
and
gotcha,
all I see them calling
yeah.
out is Dan's GTR.
Yeah.
Nobody's really made the mistakes yet.
Yeah. They need to bring more spice into this.
You know,
big dog.
hold on. This guy, I got to give it to this guy because he probably comments like maybe one comment or so on these, you know, hammy posts. And, you know, sometimes I could pin him because, you know, we know what the GTR, his GTR has.
It's all in good fun, you know. Like I usually do that. I make one comment that I know is gonna piss everybody off, and then what pisses them off even more is not answering after that.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I'll go back and forth a little bit, but just say a little something to get them all fired up, and then leave.
Yeah.
And of course, we have DanRue. You know, he brought back at it
I'm
again.
He's back at it.
Back. You know,
Back
look,
at it like a crack at it.
you know what's crazy?
The most hated.
The most hated by the Mopar community. Just by the Mopar community.
Yeah.
Man, it's fun. It's fun.
Man, you know, it's crazy. Last time we hopped on here, I was just spitting some facts. You know, don't need to repeat myself, but I'm going to repeat myself. Like I said, from a roll.
Yeah.
There's not a demon, track hog, Hellcat that can fuck with me in the United States or probably in the world for that matter. But everyone's upset at the fact that I don't dig my car.
Yeah.
I just don't dig my car. And
Why don't you dig your car?
well,
Tell
the
him
thing
why.
is, to be honest,
They're fucking junk. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
This shit's gonna break.
Yeah.
What do you want? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
this isn't a GM or a Mopar that has a $3,000 transmission or a $10,000 transmission for that matter.
Yeah.
That's gonna last pass after pass after pass after pass.
Yep.
Like it's almost a guarantee. You dig race the car, at some point it might not break for
100
10
passes,
runs,
yeah.
100 passes, but it's going to break. And the shit's 30 grand, 35 grand. You know what I'm
fix.
saying? It's not, you're buying a Hellcat, a used Hellcat for what he's got in the training. So
Yeah.
everybody's upset. Race
Yeah.
your car like a man. He didn't call these guys out like a man. He said, yo, I'll race them from a roll. And the unfortunate truth is, you know, somebody asked me about this the other day. Yo, what's up with Dan and these Hellcats? Is this shit really that fast? It doesn't have to be that fast. And I say this with the utmost respect because they're cool cars. The Hellcats, they have a lot of potential. They're awesome street cars. There's way more of them out there than GTRs. But they're just not fucking with one of these cars on the street from a roll, period.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. And like I said, it's just a fact. Like, I tried doing a little research today because I knew you guys were coming. I couldn't even find the fastest 60 to 130 for a Hellcat.
Ooh, damn. What'd you find?
Trying to get in the 4s, trying to get in the 5s. I'm sure there's 3-second cars out there, but like the only thing on the street from a roll that's fucking with a well-built GTR and a well-set-up GTR is another fast GTR or the Lambos and the R8s.
Yeah.
Because they're fast as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, but like these cars, when they make big power, go 2.6, 60 to 130. The fastest 60 to 130 in the world on the street right now is a GTR.
Is that on Draggy?
Yeah, verified on Draggy. One of my buddies, Tom, I think he went 240 something.
It was 230
on the street.
230s.
230s on the street in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was a full weight street car. So it is what it is. People will get upset about it, and that's fine. He doesn't want to dig race his car. He said from a roll, so all these guys can call him out with the fastest this in the world from a dig. Yeah. And I still guarantee you put that thing on a radial and you put it on the street, and it's still, at the end of the day, it's a giant cinder block going down the highway. Yeah. It's going to get gapped.
Hey, people think you still have the old setup.
Nobody even knows what setup that shit has. Yeah. We never posted a number.
Yeah.
The thing is, I never really posted the car that much. I posted Racing Midnight, in 2021?
Yeah.
You know,
and that was a good race right there.
That car that I raced ran a 750 or 760 at 180 something in the quarter. That was a fast Mustang. Yeah. It was not slow.
Shout out to Midnight again.
Shout out to Midnight.
Yeah, shout out to Midnight. Like, that car was fast.
It was fast.
Right there. That's a 750 Mustang, and I'm not saying Dan gapped him. He beat him.
Yeah.
But right there, that car set up, works well. It was working that day. Dan's car made less power then than it does now, but it was still a good race, and Dan's car still beat it. So you're telling me that a Trackhawk that runs 890s or a Hellcat or a Demon or whatever that runs 780s is going to beat that car from roll? It's just not happening. Like, when my car made less power than what Dan's car makes now, it went 770s.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So if we really wanted to prove something to somebody, which we don't, because nobody cares about proving anything to anybody on the internet, like, we could put a 15-inch wheel on the car and go to the track right now and go 770s.
Yeah.
Oosh. Like, and dance.
Faster than the fastest demon in the whole entire planet. Like, who gives a fuck?
It wouldn't even be a demon anymore.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's
like, I'll go in there and I'm not trying to be a douchebag. Like, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. Yeah. But it's just not. It's just not going to happen unless the car breaks, which is definitely possible. Yeah, you know.
So the power,
like we just said, like he just said, if we slap a 15 on my car, like it is full interior, I'll only have one shot because I have no roll cage to try to kick me off. But no parachute, nothing. Full interior, AC, power steering, radio, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Put a 15 on that car. My car, it'll beat a Trackhawk at the fastest. What, that car runs 780 or something like that? My car will run 770s.
Damn.
With the power it's making.
This Dan's dyno graph behind me.
Yeah.
That's not the power.
Don't show him that.
Oh, damn.
Don't show him that. Don't show him that. Damn it. That's not supposed to be up there.
Whose graph is
but
it?
But you know what's crazy?
They're making crazy power over here.
You know what's crazy? That's only at 8,000 RPMs. What do our cars wrap to?
95?
It depends. Your car probably goes to like 9,000 right now, but we rev my car to 10.5 with a 4.3. So they'll rev.
Yeah.
Hey, you know,
the get is real.
So look, can I get into something?
What's up?
Let's talk about Bailey's. I don't care.
I thought we just talked about it.
No, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna say Bailey's. We're gonna say Bailey's because this car that he supposedly has.
Wait, did he hit you up?
Of course.
He hit me up.
He
hit me up.
Hey, what'd he say, bro?
He said the same thing I just said. Like, at the end of the day, everybody on the internet. Sorry, I'm away from my mic right now. Everybody on the internet is really just fucking around, you know? It's all in good fun. Man. It's,
really thought he was, like, talking about, like, a race meet or something.
No, they said we could set it up and do some of our cars versus some of their cars, but they don't want to do it for any money. And, you know, that's fine.
And not against this one, though.
That's up to them. But that's, like, this is what we were kind of talking about beforehand, like, even when I was racing this car on the street back in the day, like, you can go find a Facebook post from me in 2016 when it had nothing, when it was making 1,000 horsepower. I bring the car out for 5,000 or better because at the end of the day, the level of these cars, like, it's going to cost you more than that, guaranteed, if you break literally anything.
Damn.
You know, so it has to be at least worth your time. You know, I don't want to go out there when I got to refresh the engine every 70 passes or something like that, and go out there and put 2 or 3 passes on it for free. Yeah. Like I'm not winning a trophy. That's the most important thing to me. I'm not saying, oh, you got to put up money. Like there has to be something at stake. You know what I mean? If it, and that's what attracts big crowds. That's what attracts everything. If there's something for somebody to lose or something for somebody to win, then the people come, and that's when the money comes too. Like all these huge races this year, drag racing, I won't say blew up this year, but it's doing a lot better this year than it ever has. $100,000 payouts, $50,000 payouts.
Yeah,
there was a NHRA did $1 million payout.
Damn.
For the bracket finals or something like that. Got paid $1 million. Like that's what brings the money, and that's what brings the fun too. Why do you think people street race? Yeah, because they love to see if they can almost crash their car. It's because the energy. It's because everybody around. Like going grudge racing, stuff like that. Yeah. And, I love racing my car at the track and shit, but like I used to have so much more fun grudge racing the car and street racing the car and stuff like that. Now I have a lot of fun doing what I'm doing, but that's where the fun is. So if it's not going to be for anything, then what are we going to do? Just go out to a testing tune? We're
going to get into the shop and, racing more. Yeah. You can finish off with Bailey's.
Yeah. All right, look. So, like I was saying, Bailey's is different, right? So he hit me up,
it's a demon, man.
It's a demon. But here's the thing: their fastest cars run 780s. My car is probably one of the slower cars from the shop. We have 30 cars we built that have been in the 7s.
Damn,
a lot.
We literally, and they have maybe a couple. There's not many. There's probably, I can promise you one thing. Our shop right now, we have probably more GTRs in the 7s than there are Hellcats that run 7s in the nation. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically.
I would say that for sure.
Yeah. What about the Demon 170? That's going to be the killer right there.
It's an 8-second car, bro. Demon 170.
They're waiting for it. Everybody,
look, man, here's the thing. Like, how many posts have you ever seen a Demon run a 7.25? How many? Can you name more than 4 or 5?
I'm going to be completely honest. Until you started this bullshit, I didn't even know that there was a Demon in the 7s. I had to look it up.
You had to go watch the podcast, like, man.
I did start the bullshit.
Yeah. But I'm saying I had to go look it up because I was like, what is even the fastest Demon?
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not disrespect. It's just the platform. Like, people don't understand really how impressive the platform really is. Like I said, they suck, they break, they cost a lot of money when they do break.
When they don't act right, yeah.
Like I said, we can go, since we've done it so many times too, we can go to the track. Like, it would probably take us 2 passes to get Dan's car in the 7s, and he's never drag raced the car before ever. It's just a capable platform. The motor makes so much power. The cars work relatively well. If you watch the pass of mine when I ran my first 6, you wouldn't think so, because it kind of hops all over the track. Looks like I'm going to crash a couple times. Yeah. But that's just the all-wheel drive. But
dancing.
Yeah, but they work pretty well, and it's just, at this point, it's kind of like cookie cutter.
Yeah.
We've done it before. We know what to do. We know the recipe for it, and they just do it over and over and over again.
So did you talk to Tyler? Because I know Tyler was like, man.
Oh yeah. So Tyler, Tyler's from Bailey's. You don't know him, but he's another guy. He has a Trackhawk, 2,000 horsepower Trackhawk. Like, respectfully, like I said, I think they showed me a video. I think the car is in the low 8s in the quarter. I will, respectfully, when I say this, it's not going to be a race.
Yeah.
It's badass though.
So it's fucking awesome.
Will you respond?
Yeah. So I will clarify. I have no disrespect towards any of the Hellcats, because I get a lot of comments. Why do you hate Hellcats? I don't hate them. I just said a fact.
Yeah.
And
it's just that people really love them, and then those people don't actually know what they're talking about. So they'll go on there and they'll say anything.
Yeah.
Like somebody told me today, check your facts. This and that. And I was like, let me check. I was like, let me check real quick. Yeah, no.
I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
I was like, yeah, no, I checked it. It's a fact. But it's just one of those things. Like, people are so, they don't realize what anybody else has. They're just so quick to say, oh, you didn't race this guy or that guy. It wouldn't really matter who he raced. And I think that's what started the whole thing anyways,
For me, it's not a disrespect to Mopars. All right, they're cool cars. I mean, they make power. They're fun. They whine,
They whine.
The owners.
Just like the customers.
The owners and the cars.
Yeah.
And the car.
Everybody's whining.
They whine. They all whine.
So the owner of the shop, Houston, he's here. Mac, what makes this motor the best?
I don't know, honestly. I fight with I fight with my boys all the time, like 2Js. We go back and forth because they just make a lot of power. They're relatively reliable.
We have any wood in here?
For the power, yeah. For the power that they make, they're in my opinion way more reliable than 2J. And they just make way more efficient power. You know what they're making on 90 pounds of boost or something like that, we're making on 58, 60 pounds. So it's, I mean, what makes the engine the best physically, it has really good cylinder head design. Like, what those heads come from the factory is what like people are trying to, you know, like what your goal would be if you're porting a head on something, you know, if you're changing the head design, like they come, I've put CNC ported heads, opened up chambers. We've tried everything and they'll make 50 horsepower, maybe more than that. I mean, and don't get me wrong, 50 horsepower is a lot, but more than a car that, you know, at 2,000 horsepower, is it really worth the, you know, multiple thousands of dollars CNC port in the head? Sometimes they don't make any more power than a completely stock port. So like that right there, just you know, it shows you it's just a well designed, it's an efficient engine.
Yeah. Well, for me, like last time we asked, and I did tell you guys, for me, my personal opinion, I think the VR38, let me be specific, is probably the most powerful 6-cylinder right now. Like, I mean,
aside from like some hillbilly with a Cummins that makes 3,000 horsepower.
Yeah, but that's I mean,
but, we had some diesel guys on the pod too. Yeah.
Maybe that shit's impressive.
Maybe gas powered, ethanol powered, 6 cylinders. Let me specify.
Yeah.
The diesel.
Import 6-cylinder.
Import 6-cylinder. Yeah, done. But you know what I mean. Like, I'm an RB guy. I love RBs, Nissan guy at heart. But I honestly,
RBs sound really good. That's all that they do good. Though.
They sound sick.
They sound. That's it.
Especially with
That's it. Just keep it with the sound.
But yeah, I mean, the VR is a great platform.
What about the design of like the block? You know,
that's got a stock block in it.
Stock block?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not like a stock block like some LS guys that say stock block, like they took it out of a junkyard, they put it in there and it made a lot of power. It's got obviously built internals and stuff like that. But yeah,
the casing
stock cast block. Yeah, we had a billet block in it at World Cup, but now it's got a stock block back in it, and we've gone just as fast and made just as much power on stock blocks. Granted, when you go up in, you know, so like the billet blocks, you can go bigger bore, and you can,
How much bigger?
You're going from a 4.1 to a 4.3 only by changing the bore.
Okay.
You know, so obviously that makes a little bit more power depending on how efficient the turbo kit is.
Mm-hmm.
So we do see a difference in power, but not something, again, just like the cylinder heads. There's nothing that a billet block will do aside from when you have massive turbos and you need the displacement to spool it that the stock block won't. I mean, like I said, I've gone 660s with the stock block. I've gone 660s with the billet block. There's no difference really. Besides a little bit of spool maybe, but it's a give and take, right? Because the billet block is 60 to 80 pounds heavier than the stock block.
The billet block's heavier?
Yeah, because it's a cast aluminum block from the factory with aluminum sleeves.
Okay.
With a liner in them. So it's just now you go to a billet block, it's got chrome moly mains, so it's got big steel mains, and then it's got steel sleeves in it too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, and then the billet is obviously heavier too than the cast. So,
and what's the price difference between the blocks?
Honestly, that's where it gets a little tricky right now, because I used to pick these blocks up for $2,100 to $2,300 from the dealer. You know, you can maybe sell them for $27,000 to $3,000 to the customer. So it's very easy for me to say to somebody like, we should just start with a new stock block, brand new from the dealer, no problem, $3,000, whatever. They've gone up so much since COVID. They keep going up 20%, 20%, 20%.
Where are they at now?
Almost $10,000.
Yeah.
God.
For just the stock block.
But we used to buy.
Guys, buy an LS. No, I'm just like.
I'm an LS guy too. But it's crazy, and it's for no reason at all. No reason. Like, they have them in stock at the dealer. They're not in high demand. They just keep jacking the prices up on people because they know somebody's going to need it. But like, I used to buy complete engines, intake to oil pan, injectors, turbos, and stuff on them for $7,500. Wow. A whole complete long block. I would get a spare set of heads. I'd get covers, everything. And now it's like over $7,000 from our cost on the block. $7,800, almost $8,000 for the cost. Like, it doesn't make any sense anymore. So now you got some of these blocks, they're in like the $14,000 price range. If you mess up a cylinder on one of these, you're done. Like I said, there's no sleeve. Yeah. You mess up a cylinder in a billet block, it's got a sleeve. You can go over bore.
You can't re-sleeve it?
I mean, you could sleeve the block because it doesn't have an actual sleeve at all.
Yeah.
It's literally just a liner inside the aluminum.
Damn.
So there's no like repair sleeves or anything like that. So
Not like LS. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, you could put a liner in it, but I don't recommend it for high power. You know.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's kind of a toss up. Like depending on what you're doing with the car, is it worth it to spend the extra, $5,000 and get a billet block that you can reuse? If you do, for whatever reason, which the built motors don't usually do, the stock motors will do if you push them too hard. If you do break a rod, most of the time it's not coming out of that billet block. It might be banged up inside, but you can reuse it.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's a hard decision now.
You recently went to a competition and the block messed up.
At the last race? Yeah, World Cup.
Okay.
Yep.
But I gotta say, they changed the motor. They were like 15 minutes in, right?
Oh,
15 minutes past the time.
No, we were my foot was inside the car on the throttle and my finger was on the button when the guy did his byron.
Damn.
So we All right, guys. As you can see, it really didn't go as expected for us. We won round number 2. We went 670. Unfortunately, we hurt the motor. We did our best to swap it. Really sucks because number 1 qualifier went out second round. We were going to be racing a slower car in the semis, and ideally, if everything went as planned, we would have went to the finals. Obviously, that's racing. Things don't always go as planned. We did our best to swap the car. The car is literally running. We got it running 2 minutes after last call. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes sometimes. These guys thrashed super hard. We got as close as we can possibly get and wouldn't be anywhere without the guys I got behind me. So that's really what it comes down to. The car was up and running 2 minutes, 3 minutes after they did the buy run. So we probably did need like 15 minutes and we would have been in the staging lanes. It's tough because it was in between like late rounds and eliminations. Like we were going into the semifinals.
Team did awesome.
So yeah, we did. Honestly, I got a really good group of guys. And
when I seen that, I was like, "Damn, they're changing it on there." You had a hoist and everything ready.
Yeah, we went and right when we started, I sent somebody to go find a training jack and go get a hoist. But it's we had the spare motor there, but we didn't have enough spare parts. If the motor was completely dressed top to bottom with the oil pan and the front cover and everything on it, it would have been in and out. And we would have made it for sure. Yeah. But we only got one crank pulley. We've only got one because this year we switched to a different oil pan and a different front cover. Otherwise, the motor would have been complete. Last year, I had the complete one sitting in there. We switched to a different, and you never anticipate switching a motor in between rounds. Yeah. If we broke it in qualifying or something like that, all right, we'll swap it. But like, I would have never even thought about that. But the event was just kind of like, it just had that like pace to it, I guess you could say. Yeah. Like it was kind of, there was people crashing, unfortunately. There was people oiling down. Like it just wasn't going that smooth compared to past years. So I was like, fuck it, let's try it. Yeah. Worst case, if we got halfway through, but we almost got it done, and it's like I said, it's a testament to my guys. Like nobody wanted to do that. Yeah. Nobody wants to be changing the motor, and it's cold as hell there. Like, and they went until I told them to stop. They would have just kept going.
That was an import and domestic, right?
Yep. Right. Yeah, we're at World Cup Finals, import versus domestic in Maryland at MIR.
And that was second round that it messed up?
Yeah, so we qualified number 4. We won the first round. We went into the second round, and I noticed that the car that we were racing, when it was qualified, it only went 690 something. Obviously, it was really fast. It had gone 690 something. We had went 660 something. So I wasn't that worried about it. But then when we pulled up to the staging lines, I looked at the ladder again, and they also went 669.
Oh shit!
So I was like, damn. So we turned the second kit of nitrous on, and something messed up with the fueling in the computer, and we ended up melting one of the valves. It sucks because, obviously hindsight's 20/20, but we didn't end up needing it anyways. They spun the tire on the starting line, so they didn't even make the pass. Wow. And we melted it, making a pass against nobody pretty much. So yeah, we pushed it back and tried to fix it as quick as we could. And what really sucks is in the semis, we would have been going against the number 9 qualifier because the number 1 qualifier also spun the tires and went out second round. So ideally, we would have loved to see it. We would have went to the final with White Rice. So I would have been Houston on Houston Crime.
Oh, White Rice with Speed Lab.
White Rice with Pro Speed.
Pro Speed.
Yep.
Okay. Speed Lab worked on it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And Speed Lab, Jose.
Shout out to Speed Lab, Jose.
Yeah, shout out Jose.
I had him on the pod too. He's
Did
a
you?
good guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah.
He did Dewey's other truck, which they call a Dirty Taco.
Dirty Taco. Yeah. We talked about Dirty Taco.
The
too.
compound
Remember?
compound turbo.
Yeah.
stuff.
Nice.
I'm sure he's done work on. I'm sure he's done work on White Rice too. But yeah. So then it's the same tuner on both the truck and the
Pro Speed both.
Yep. On both the truck and White Rice.
Nice.
So it would have been an awesome final, but it is what it is.
Before we get into more, let's talk about a little bit about the shop. Tell us, everything y'all do here at the shop Houston. They're working on the GTRs, they're working on Supras. A little bit about what y'all do here.
We do a little bit of everything. Obviously, we specialize in GTRs. We've got 5 V10 cars in there right now. Huracans and R8s. I think we got
Nice.
3 Huracans, 2 R8s, or maybe 4 Huracans and 3 R8s. I don't know. We got a decent amount of V10 stuff too. But like I said, we do a little bit of everything. We'll still do built R32s, built R33s.
Yeah.
So we got a C7 Corvette over there getting a Motec. So we do it all, honestly. We try to do it all as long as we can be good at it,
Okay.
Like, I'm not going to, if he had brought that here and wanted a motor build and a blower and stuff like that for the C7, I probably wouldn't do it just because I don't specialize in it, and I'm not trying to take somebody's money when I don't know I can give them the best quality.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So
Nice. That's awesome.
I don't know the platform as well as I used to. I used to be, like I said before, I used to be an LS guy. So, yeah, we try to do a little bit of everything. We do a decent amount of the B58 Supras, a lot of bolt-on stuff. Bolt-on stuff for Subarus, bolt-on stuff for anything, really.
Yeah, those Infinity boys. Y'all come here. We
Oh,
got
yeah,
the
yeah.
DQ boys.
Yeah, we do a lot
They're
of
right here,
stuff.
too. There's one right here.
DQs, man.
Yeah, so
Hey.
Monsif, admin tuning, he tunes out of here.
Okay.
So we do a lot of work on those as well. Headers, bolt-ons, tunes, blowers, turbo kits, all that stuff. So we do quite a bit of those. Shout out to Monsif. He gives us a lot of that work with his customers. So yeah, like I said, we don't. A lot of people get the image that like we'll only do a big nasty built GTR. But I got a lot of guys on a lot of lifts, and we do good work. We try to do the best work we can do on everything. So we're not scared. We're not scared. We're not scared to work on anything really.
Yeah, don't forget about the dyno. They got the hub dyno here, guys. If you need your GTR build, Supra, like he said, all the cars, you got to hit him up to Shop Houston. Send him a DM and email.
Yeah, just email sales at the Shop Houston.
Send an email.
Get us up on Instagram. You can hit me up. You can hit the shop up. Anybody will get back to you. So, but yeah, we got the hub dyno. So we also rent the hub dyno out if you need to. If you need to get your car tuned by somebody else. If your car was built by somebody else, I don't care. It's a good tool to have. It's an awesome tool. We have one of the only ones around.
In Houston?
I don't know, but I'm saying we have one of the only ones locally. I'm sure there's others in Houston. Main lines specifically. There's probably other hub dynos and stuff, but yeah, like I said, it's a great tool. So anybody that needs to use it, we'll rent it out to whoever.
Why the hub versus the roller?
I mean, it's just so many less variables. You bolt the shit on. You don't have to worry about a strap breaking. You don't have to worry about a strap burning. You don't have to worry about a car falling off the dyno. You don't have to worry about, messing anything up. Like, if somebody tells you that they can strap a car on a roller dyno safely the first time, not tighten the straps up, pull this one a little bit this way, pull this one a little bit that way. Strap a car on a roller dyno faster than you can take 2 wheels off and put 2 wheels on, you're fucking lying.
Yeah.
So it's safe, and it also, you can't spin the tires. I see people pouring prep on the fucking rollers, changing wheels, this, that, the other. Car will roll in here on skinnies, and it, and doesn't spin the tire at all. Yeah. So it's more accurate, in my opinion. There's less variables, there's less shit that can go wrong, and they work really, really well.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the power, is there like a max power?
I think this one's rated for 3,000.
3,000.
We've never got there, obviously.
Yeah.
But and it'll take you can put a Pro Mod on it. Once it goes, it won't damage it. Once it gets to the limit, it just won't hold the power anymore. Okay. So it's not like, oh, my car makes too much power to put on there. Nothing makes too much power to get dialed in. In my opinion, I hate being on the dyno.
Yeah.
I want my car off the dyno as fast as possible. For whatever reason, I have this thought in my head that it hurts more on the dyno than it does going down the track, which obviously isn't true. It's one gear versus all of it. But I hate being on the dyno. Like, I just want to get it dialed in, get it working. We can turn it up at the track. Yeah. Some people like to see a number, but you know, like I said, if anyone needs to use it to get their car ready to go to the track, you can do that.
Is it because of past history, or you just have that feeling?
No, honestly, again, this bitch always makes it off the dyno, but I just hate being on it. I hate it. Yeah. I don't know why.
So you prefer it? You prefer it dialed in at the track, street tune versus?
No.
tune?
Like it always has to go on the dyno. Yeah. You know, and we always put it on the dyno, but like I don't want to push it to the limit on the dyno. I don't care. You know, like I don't care how much power it makes. We'll take it off at 15, 17, 1900 and go to the track. Like I would love for the tuner to be like, take it off at 1,000. It's fine. You know, for whatever reason, I just hate leaning on the dyno. I'll tell him to turn it to the moon at the track. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. I've always been like that. Yeah. I feel sick when my shit's on the dyno.
Yeah. There's a lot of misconception about GTRs. They are expensive, especially when you start building them to make big power. But recently I've seen a lot of people talk about, oh, you got to spend $100,000 to get a used GTR. You really don't. I mean, I went market shopping myself online recently, did it on live, found a couple used GTRs, 2012s, but just if you want to go fast in a GTR for the price, you can budget it. You can budget build it. I found one for like.
There's a difference between a budget build and a budget build on a GTR.
Yeah, true, true. But as far as like,
what's the difference?
I mean, I'm just saying, like I said, I was an LS guy before.
Yeah,
you can build an 8-second LS for not a lot of money.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You can't build an 8-second GTR for not a lot of money because again, we go back to what we talked about originally, like the tranny. Yeah. You want the lowest built trans that'll run an 8, $17,000, $17,500. Yeah, that's somebody's whole build. Mm-hmm. That's my whole turbo 400. That's good for 5,000 horsepower.
Damn.
And that shit might hold up in an 8-second car.
It ain't no BMW parts. I tell you that right now. It ain't no BMW.
But the rest of the parts are just like anything else. Building the motor's just like building any other 6-cylinder. The turbo kits are a little expensive because they're so car specific. Like you're not just buying a manifold with a turbo and a wastegate. It's 2 gates, 2 turbos, and they have to fit between the frame rails. So that stuff gets a little expensive. But in terms of getting into the platform, he's right. They're not that expensive compared to these other cars. Like you can buy a used GTR for $50,000. You can buy a used GTR for 55, 60, whatever. If you want, sure. If you want a brand new car, you're gonna spend $100,000. But it's not like a Lambo. You want to use one of those, you're spending $200,000. Mm-hmm. So now your entry cost is like,
ridiculous.
So I do tell people that all the time. Depending on what you want to do, it's still a really good platform.
Like he said, when I first came to them, we did full bolt on 85. With the pricing over the years, working with them, I've been able to see things. And even recently, like I said, you can get a used GTR for about $50,000. You could put $20,000 in it and make 900 horsepower.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
And that's fast.
Yeah, and you can make
a boost
850 on stock trans, stock motor. It's just turbo kit, fuel system, and that's really it.
We put my car on the dyno. I still had cats on the damn car. No front mount intercooler. Made 843.
Nice.
With a boost light 750X kit.
Nice.
843.
And V6 tell you a lot, boy.
And look, let me tell you something. All we did, we put a front mount on it, take the cats off. That's right at 900 horsepower right there.
That's you're on thin ice there.
You're
not sitting there kicking the shit out of it like like a LSA or something like that. Like with or like a ZR1 with mild bolt-ons that makes 900. Yeah. But this is like you can make, as long as you keep the torque down, you can make 850 relatively reliably with not a lot of money. So same thing. If you're going to go and you're going to buy, I don't even know what Hellcats cost, to be honest with you. But like I would assume they're probably around there, 40 something, 50 grand.
They're almost the same as GTR.
They're the same as GTR, but they're expensive. Right
yeah.
now.
So
the price went up on them too.
Really?
And then it takes probably the same amount of money to make them go just as fast. And to make them make just as much power and go way fucking slow.
Go way slow.
Not the fastest though. Make the same power. Same power.
Yeah, I mean,
man, they're like Rolexes if you think about it.
That's the thing. It was a lot of misconception online that people think it's $100,000 just to get a GTR, and it's not. It's really not. You can find used ones out there for reasonable prices. Like I was looking at them for 52, 53, and that's just a stock GTR.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's a Nissan. It's still a reliable car. Yeah. You could daily drive the thing every day if you wanted to. Like they're not, unfortunately, my business partner chooses in the summer to daily drive his 2,000 horsepower GTR. I say unfortunately because when anything makes 2,000 horsepower, it's not gonna last forever. You know. Yeah. So, we put a fucking motor in that thing every single year, and it's not because the motor doesn't last. It's because the crank, the billet crank, it's not made to go miles. It's made to handle the power. Make a bunch of passes. Like you want to put a crank in it every season. I've gone 4 or 5 seasons on a crank. Right. I would say probably 4 seasons on a crank, which doesn't happen that often. But the street miles is what kills parts. But that two-wheel drive is 2,000 horsepower. Actually, 2,130 horsepower. That might be his dyno graph.
37.
that might actually be his dyno graph. Every single day, 300 miles a day. He made us build him a custom fuel cell in the back that's 35 gallons. So he can run X98 in the car, so he doesn't have to stop and put pump gas in it anywhere he goes.
He's putting them diesel tanks in the back.
Dude, the shit, how we sized the tank was how big can we fit in the hole of the trunk. Pause.
Damn.
Yo.
Take the spare tire.
But, like, we had to figure out, like, what's the biggest tank we could even get in the car. Yeah. And he drives shit every day. But like I said, if you wanted to buy one for 50 grand, you don't have to worry about it. Like, it's a Nissan. It'll go for 100,000 miles. I've seen them with, 100,000 miles. And
I've seen
with
them with 300,000.
So I'm talking about GTR specifically. I've seen them with 100,000 miles. It happens. I used to see it in Connecticut more often than I see it here. But like, you see cars 95,000 miles, and that was I moved here 4 years ago, so that was a long time ago. Those cars are still probably going with 135,000, 150,000 miles.
You tell us a little bit about the car. Like this one, when you got it, how did you start building it? Did you just start throwing parts at it, start a lot of R&D on the car?
I bought it as a stock full bolt-on E85 car from my buddy Greg. He made me a deal that I couldn't refuse. I didn't even have the money to buy the shit at the time. Honestly, I had a tiny little shop. I had one lift and a dyno, and my dyno payment was more than my rent. And, it was crazy. And it was just like one of those deals where I was like, fuck it, I'm going to find the money somehow. Yeah. And I bought the car from him as a completely stock car, and I worked on so many of them that I would just pile up parts, used parts, whatever. And I saved up, the first thing I saved up for was the transmission, obviously, because like I said, it's the most expensive thing. So that's how I started, and that's really why the car got the name Kimbo. Because I only built it to race on the street. The first time I built the car, I wanted it to look so stock that if somebody asked me to look at the car when they were racing it, I wouldn't be able to tell if it was bolt-ons or not, So we had stock turbos that had, 30R wheels in them, and the car ended up making 1,100. And if you looked under the hood, it was completely stock. Stock intercooler pipes, stock fuel rails. We banged the spring on the regulator to make more fuel pressure.
Hell yeah.
So it wasn't even just outside to look stock. Even inside was stock.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, outside of the car looked good. It had a, carbon trunk and carbon hood and stuff like that. But under the hood, it looked stock. I had a Kenny Bell booster pump tucked underneath the panel.
Hell yeah.
So it looked like the car just had regular, like, stock style fuel pumps in it. I was like, you can only fit certain. So one time we were out racing somebody, and I got a guy that knows GTRs. I was like, all right, GTRs, let's take a look at the car. Like, you would know that you can't make, because they were claiming the car ran an 8 the night before at the track, which it did do that.
Yeah.
In hindsight, but it was running no time, and they must have known somebody at the track. Like, dude called my bluff, said this car ran this fast last night. I said, no, it wasn't me, it was another guy. But so they brought in a guy that said, he knows about GTRs. I said, all right, you know about GTRs, like, let's look at the fuel system. Like, you can't run an 8 on a stock fuel basket. Yeah. So, like, you should be able to tell, right? Oh, it's gonna take a while. I said, it'd take a while. You must not have worked on GTRs in a while. Yeah. Popped the seat up, and he was like, yeah. So then they agreed to race me. They thought it was a bolt-on car. We raced a ZR1 for 11 grand.
Ooh, got him.
Wow, don't get me wrong. It was a bad motherfucker. It was a.
What year was that when you were pushing 11?
2017, maybe 2016. But it was like, it was a turbo 400 ZR1 on a 29.5. So it was a bad car. It was an 8-second car too. So, but when they thought I had bolt-ons, I asked them to take the nitrous off. I was like, dude, I got a stock car, And
hell yeah. You got that 11 grand, man.
Yeah, so that's where Kimbo came from, because we used to only race the car on the street. And, originally, before the UFC, he used to only fight on the street. So that's where that came from, and then it
R.I.P.
evolved
Kimbo.
to what it is. Unfortunately and fortunately, I was in a position where I didn't really have a choice. I was without a shop. I went to move into my new shop because we outgrew the old one, and the landlord saw the dyno and withdrew my lease. Ooh. So to make a long story short, I had no shop for like 6 months, and I was losing customers. I was losing money. And I was like, you know what? I got to do something to really make a name for myself in the GTR community. So I built the car, and I went to a race, and we ended up winning the race, and we got featured on 1320, and then the phone started ringing. And then 3 weeks later, we got into a new shop, and that was it from there. And now
Damn.
And he risked it all, though. It
dude,
sounds like
I put a crank on a credit card. I was buying shit that I didn't like. I told somebody
That's fucking crazy. It's awesome.
I put a deposit on a Motec, like, I'll pay you next week. I put $1,000 down. It was the only $1,000 I had. The Motec was $6,500, and I just sold parts off my car to pay for it. So I sold all the street car parts off of it. I sold the exhaust. I was like, fuck it, I'll get another titanium exhaust another day. Yeah. I sold whatever I had to sell. I sold my LS.
Damn.
Yeah. I had a built LQ9 for my I got a FD RX7. I sold the motor out of it to finish paying for the transmission in my GTR. Wow. Because I had to upgrade at that point, and that was when we went out and we ran. Everybody was trying to run a 7 with those like stock style turbos, and nobody had done it yet. So we were the first ones to do it. We went 770s, making, and that's like I mentioned it before. I was making less power than what Dan makes right now, and we went 770s. Yeah. And this was in 2018. So it was. That's really what made it evolve into this, and after that, there was really no turning back from there.
I wanted to ask because Tyler was talking about his Dodge. He was mostly based on. It was pretty much a project. So every time he built something, it was like, oh, maybe it'll go a little faster, and stuff like that. What I'm trying to say is, on this one, was it you got what you wanted, or was it also like a project? Like, oh, this guy said he can make it a little faster. Let me buy it, or how was it exactly for you?
Just constantly testing. What you mean?
Yeah, constantly testing.
Yeah, it's all we change the setup on the car almost every year to do something different. Right now, I'm confident that this will be the setup for a little while, but it's always something. Like we were always chasing a record. So the first time we chased that stock manifold record, because that was a big thing. The GTR community is very like it was. It's not, honestly, unfortunately, it's not anymore, but it was very tight knit at the time. And so all the Facebook pages, all the stuff back then, there was even people still on the forums. Like I remember having to go on the forums and defend myself because everybody was saying we were cheating and this, that, the other, because we were young. I was 23. Yeah. And I came in and I'm racing against these,
old heads,
old rich guys. Yeah. And they were getting pissed because basically these guys were all racing street cars. And I looked at the rules and I made my car as tight to the rules as I could possibly make it. They didn't say anything about the fuel, so we put the car on methanol. We made another 150 horsepower, putting the car on M1. Yeah. With a mechanical fuel system. Nobody was doing that in that low of a class because that was like max effort shit, these guys still have street cars. Around. Yeah. So like we just pushed it, and that's how I build everything. Like, I'm gonna look at the class first, and then we're gonna push every single rule as or we're gonna get as tight to it as we can. If it says that the car needs to be 3650, it's gonna be 3650 for weight, So that's just racing, though. Yeah. And if anybody says any different, they're lying. Like there's always somebody bending a rule to try to go faster, to make that next step, to try to set that next record. So that's really what I chased with the car originally was records in the GTR community, because it's my main, they're micro records, sure. Yeah. But like that's my main source of income. So we need to be good at it. And so we went from the stock manifolds to the 58 millimeter record. We set that, I think that just got broken last year. We set that in 2018. That was we went 740s on 58 millimeter turbos, and then we went to 68s, and we wanted to be the first in the 6s on 68, so we did that. And then after that, it's like, I don't want to try to run deep 6s in the car, because at that point it was just a waste of money, because I wasn't going to try to be the fastest GTR in the world with the stock style trans, and that's how it evolved into what it is now. So we put a 400 in it because I love racing the car. Yeah. It's just not feasible with that transmission. Yeah, we won 2K last year. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so we won GTR Unlimited at 2K last year.
When did Lambo Assassin win that 2K?
Last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah. Was it last year too? Yeah, so they won the roll.
They won the roll.
Y'all run a dick?
Yep.
So Lambo Assassin ran in the roll and beat the UGR car. The big. hypercar,
New York,
car.
yeah.
Shout out to Kevin.
Damn.
And
Shout out to Billy.
Shout out to Billy.
Hey,
That's
Billy and
Kevin.
Kevin.
And Kevin.
My
Shout out to
friend.
Billy. Shout out to T1.
Hello,
You know,
Billy.
that little V6. Pissing a lot of V10 guys off. I know they need 4 more cylinders just to do what we're just to almost do what we're doing, but they'll get there.
He's in New York, right?
Yeah.
Billy?
Yeah. So Billy was actually when I was in Connecticut, when my shop was in Connecticut. That's how I met Billy. He was one of my customers there, and we moved down here. He went to T1, and I still there's
Awesome guy.
He has a
Awesome
fast
guy.
ass car.
Oh yeah,
That
he's
Shit
crazy.
is crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that car I think made like 2,700 or something like that.
Yeah. It's got the record in Pocono?
Mono?
Yep.
Pocono.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yes.
for because they do the slipstream events in
1,800
Pocono.
feet. Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got the record. It was like
Why was 2K shorter this year shorter last year than any year?
This past year, you mean?
Yeah.
Because there were so many crashes the first year.
Yeah.
People were trying to slam on the brakes so hard to go in the shutdown, and these Lambos and shit were crashing. It's hard. The Lambo shit, the engine's in the back of the car.
Yeah.
So all the weight is in the back of the car. So they come, they lift, and the brakes are massive.
And parachutes too.
Yeah, these big, huge carbon brakes, and the weight has nowhere to go, so it wants to go around. So it's hard, and
Definitely a lot of spinning. Like they
it's
spun out a lot.
Yeah, well that's the next thing you got to realize for the V10 platform. It's such a good platform that entry level, like what our bolt-ons would be, is like 1,400 horsepower. So you're taking these guys, unfortunately, that don't know what
How
the
to
fuck
drive.
they're doing.
Yeah.
And you're minimum putting them in a 1,400 horsepower car. So none of the guys that are super rich are like, I want to make the lowest power I can make. So now they're going in 2,000 horsepower cars. And sure, they're fine most of the time, but they're fine until they're not,
Yeah.
And like you have to know how to handle shit like that. Most people, their general instinct is I'm going 220 miles an hour. I'm going to lift and hammer the brakes as hard as I can. And that's just instincts.
Yeah.
You have to be able to process that and like let the car settle, let the car start to slow down on its own, and then rely on the brakes to stop it, or put the chute out and rely on the chute to stop it, because
Or straighten it,
those
yeah.
brakes are so good. Like you can touch the brake pedal in an R8 going 180 and it'll barely do anything. And then as soon as the carbon heats up, without applying any more brake pressure, it starts to go woof and pull the car to a stop.
Wow.
So like you have to rely on shit like that on your equipment. But people don't know. This is their first time down a drag strip, and they're in a 1,700 horsepower Lambo.
They're inexperienced.
Yeah.
Sound like Mustang owners, to be
And
honest.
I'm not saying that. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that people who that's not the because don't get me wrong, I hate driving them. They drive like shit. They are so sketchy going on the track because they don't move like other cars. So you can't really anticipate it. So there are plenty of people that have known what they're doing that are also wrecked. They like hop a little bit. Like the whole car kind of moves around. It's very shitty feeling inside.
Sketchy, yeah.
Yeah, like inside the car, you're like, get me.
They're pretty wide and heavy, right?
Thing. Huh?
They're pretty wide and heavy for Lambos,
Yeah, they're
right?
actually pretty heavy.
They're tail heavy.
Surprisingly.
They're really wide. I know for a fact. They're like even from a parking spot.
Yeah,
Like, they understand the wobbling.
They're crazy, but I think that's the main reason why.
You're right
2K
about the hopping,
shortened
though.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you see them. They
They
like
fucking
they
hop like
move all
bunnies.
around,
Yeah.
and they're like, it's just not comfortable being in the car. So like I said, there's plenty of people that have known what they're doing that have wrecked them as well. But it doesn't make it any better that you have a combination of both. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when you're pushing the limits of anything, that shit's gonna happen. Crashes are gonna happen. That's just how racing is. Period. But I think that was probably the main reason why they shortened the roll this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was 17 and moved to 14 or something like that.
I think it went from 1,700 feet to 1,500 feet or something like that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit shorter, safer, and there was a whole lot less crashes. I can tell you that.
Still crashes though, but
Yeah.
maybe less. Yeah.
So yeah, guys, you guys got to be 100%, have more than 5 years in your Lambo, and know how to drive fast. You know what I mean? Don't
No,
be
just take it easy.
Yeah,
like
take it
learn
easy.
the car, because
Yeah.
that's the other unfortunate part about the industry is everything. No matter how prepared you try to be, everything is last second.
Yeah.
So that was probably half these dudes' first time in the car. Because it's always down to the wire, getting the cars ready for the event, and so half these guys have probably never even driven the cars before. So it's hard to get seat time, but like that's the most important thing. And honestly, I tell these guys, I say it all the time. That's why we've done well on this platform, isn't because I'm smarter than anybody else or because I know how to do things different than anybody else. We just put the time in and we test the car. And don't get me wrong, disclaimer, I've gone to many events untested. Like, is that, again, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But like, I just say we want it more.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm chasing a record, I'll go to 2 rentals a week.
Yeah.
You know, as long as the car's not broken, I'm going to try to go faster. And some of these guys, they just come out just for that event.
Yeah.
So they don't have the seat time. They don't know. You know, they don't know what's going to happen when they don't know how to handle the car when it happens because it's never happened to them before.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Guys, 2 GTRs just beat Texas. I mean, you know, 1 Texas 2K, the road racing, the dig racing. I mean, that's why we're here, man. To be honest,
You guys are big dogs, man.
Yeah.
Heavy hitters over
Heavy
here.
hitters.
Honestly, you know.
Well, we won the dig racing in the GTR class.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we would have obviously been competitive in whatever class, but
Yeah.
like the year, not the year before last. The year before last, we were dial again. We came. That was the first year with Turbo 400, and we literally didn't do anything. We made the last pass of the night, just trying to get the stuff ironed out, and then we end up going back to the track later that week and making good passes with the car. But the year prior to that, we actually had the fastest pass at 2K, so we had the fastest car on the property.
Any competition like in your class?
Yeah, for sure. Like T1 is a huge,
T1.
huge competition, huge heavy hitter. Like they build some of the baddest shit in the world. And so they've always got competitors.
What about besides T1?
We raced Giddy was who we raced in the final. ETS.
Okay.
You know, all the same. I mean, honestly, like I said, we've been in the platform and the industry so long that everybody can do it. You know, so CCO, you know, T1, AMS, ETS, like anybody's competition. If somebody's willing to spend the money to make their car go fast, everybody's capable at this point, you know? So it's, you know, there's a lot, like I said, there's tons, dude. There's Workhorse, like all these shops that can come out with a car that can click off a 720 or whatever.
Do you like beating like a Lamborghini? Like, oh, I beat that $250,000 car, or I beat this T1 Lambo or the sheepy Lambo. You know, do you get a kick out of it?
I mean, they didn't race in my class, so I personally don't race against them, but I love when other people do. You know, and it's not because I give a fuck about the Lambo.
Yeah,
it's because of how upset people get about it.
Yeah,
so
I know.
After Billy won 2K the year before last, I think, I was just like, it was Monday. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to stir some shit up.
Yeah.
And I just posted on the internet like, all that shit, and you couldn't even beat a V6, you know? Again, like I said on like the comments, like I'll just go in there, fire one thing off, and never even respond. Just get people going, you know?
That's the big thing.
That's it's how hurt they get. It's not that I care that we beat a Lambo, because at the end of the day, they should be beating us.
Yeah, that's
you know?
That's what I'm saying. They're like they're supposed to be like more, I mean, obviously they're more expensive, but like they're supposed to be more, I guess they're advertised as more built, better built, you know? Like
yeah, I mean they're
obviously they're high.
It's just like, it's the same exact thing. Honestly, a lot of these guys have gone from these to that. You know, I've gone from GTRs to Lambos. Like a lot of Lambos that we have in here are GTR customers. You know, it's a really good platform. I can't say it's not, but it's a really expensive platform too. You know, and it's the same thing. Really? Those trannies, $70,000.
Damn.
Built. You know, a built trans is $70,000, but the motors are really impressive. You do minimal stuff to them. They make a ton of power. Not saying that this is a good thing, but we've made almost 2,000 horsepower on a stock engine.
Wow.
Stock head gaskets, stock head bolts. Like the motor never came out of the car. And,
impressive.
You know, somebody's got balls and they don't care and they got money. They're like, fuck it. Go ahead, turn it up.
Do y'all do packages here? Like 1,000 horsepower package, 1,500 horsepower package, stage 1, stage 2. Is that even a thing here? Or
so actually, me and my partner were talking about that the other day, that we might start doing something a little more like that, because at the end of the day, people really just care how much power their car makes. They don't really care what's in it. Like, okay, how much is it going to cost to make this much power?
Yep.
So we're going to do some kind of package stuff like that. The hard part is the platform is so evolved by now, we rarely get a stock car in here.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not the kind of guy that's going to get somebody's car in that already has good parts on it and say, oh, you need to replace all this stuff because you didn't buy it from me. You know, I'm not trying to beat everybody for their money. So it's hard to do the stage packages because you can say like, oh, all right, you need to have these injectors, this intercooler, this, that, the other. If the car comes in, it's already got an intercooler on it that'll do the job. That's sufficient for what we're trying to do. Right. I'm not going to make somebody throw it out and waste their money because they brought me a car that already had parts on, or if it already has downpipes. How many different ways can you make a downpipe? You know what I'm saying? So it's hard, and there's so many variations. You can buy a turbo kit that makes 1100, 1200, 1150, 1300, 1400. Like, there's kits that will make 1300 horsepower that you turn them up high enough, they'll also make 1800 horsepower.
Damn.
Or close to it. So like, it's hard to have packages when there's a platform. If it's a new platform, it's easy. Like the Supras and stuff like that, stage whatever. But the GTR stuff, it's hard to stage them because, like I said, I'm not trying to make somebody take all the stuff off their car and waste all their money when they had good parts already on it. And you rarely get them that don't have parts on them now.
Well, the reason why I say the stages because, you get let's say someone new to the car community or someone new to the car scene, and they want to, I feel like they understand it more. Like, oh, we're gonna do your car stage 1.
Yeah.
So their process is like, okay, it's not stage 4. Or, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what
they can
that's
process
what it was
like a bit
when
easier.
I first started working on GTRs. I started working on them in 2012, like right out of high school.
Yeah.
And 2013, I guess you'd say. But so when they were brand new, it was that stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. But then so many people work on them, so many shops build them, and so many people use so many different combinations that it's hard. Like with the Beamers and stuff like that, like the 335s, the B58 stuff, like you can pretty much stage all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because
So pretty much
they're all the same mods for the most part. Majority of those people aren't doing full builds. We have more cars in here that make over 2,000 than make under. So like it's hard to put that out to the market, and like most of the people that do buy a stock car, they're buying it brand new, and they're coming in and they're gonna do bolt-ons first, and then they're gonna, which would be I guess stage 1, but like they do this shit in like Europe and stuff, and like it's like you'll see a stage 1.5, a stage 2.5, really? Because you could do a stage 1, which is full bolt-ons on pump gas, and then you do full bolt-ons on ethanol, which you need bigger injectors and different pumps and this, that, the other. Like it's hard.
It's kind of like they're having a feeling of the car, because you're saying about these 0.5s is like, oh, I'm going this much fast, I gotta get used to it until that's what I've seen. Well, that's what I'm like.
Man, like Max said, it's just when someone brings you a stock car, then you can know what to do.
Yeah.
But we get, I've seen plenty of people bring modified cars here. Now they got to inspect the car, and sometimes the customers don't know what's in the car because they'll buy it from somebody else. So they have to do the research. They have to pull the car down, see what this is, and it's sometimes it is a clusterfuck. Yeah. But
we do that all the time.
For the most part, that's what they do. It's a legitimate
we got a car
shop.
from Cali last week that he had actually bought it from the family of somebody that had passed away. So he literally had no idea really. Yeah. Aside from like what he kind of knew already. So we had to take the car apart. Same thing with that C7. He said, dude, listen, this thing's had so many owners before me. Like, just take the whole car apart and go through it. So we had to figure out, because like, how do you tune the car on the Motec now? You don't even know what injectors are in it. Yeah. So sometimes you go through that stuff. And like I said, I try to be as honest as we can be and say like, hey, listen, this is junk or it's not. Like, if you have perfectly usable injectors in your car that we use every day, I'm not going to make you sell them and buy new ones just because you didn't buy them from me, which a lot of places do.
Don't buy snake eaters. Whatever you do, don't buy snake eaters.
What the fuck is that?
It's a brand of injector.
See, look, I don't even know what that is.
That's the point. If you don't even know what the fuck it is, don't buy it.
I had those on my turbo truck, and they're like, man, what the fuck is this? My tuner was like, dude, you got to put some Bosch 210s on it or some shit. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, some IDs.
Sorry, just kidding. Some IDs too.
So I mean, the 210s are ID 2000 basically. Same thing, but buy IDs.
Buy IDs.
Sponsor
hey,
us.
look,
Sponsors.
Tony. I'm gonna need some money for that.
A couple last questions, for Kimbo. But Dan's been giving me the googly eyes. He's been trying to tell me, man, we got to talk about these Mopars. All
Wait,
this
what do you
and
mean?
that.
I didn't say what you mean.
Googly.
I just look. The fact of the matter is, look, I don't.
Hold on, Dan. Hold on. I got more
Hold
questions
on.
for your guy right here. Hold on.
What you got?
Tell us about. I know you went to PRI, right? You just came back from PRI. How was it? Tell us about the experience. Talk about the whole trip.
We went to PRI. PRI is like a better version of SEMA, in my opinion. SEMA's more for show cars that come in with, no drive shafts and no radiator hoses.
Bluetooth,
and shit like
Bluetooth
that.
access?
Yeah, like that aren't done. They're just there for the show.
Yeah, loaded.
And PRI is more for the industry.
Nice.
It's more for racing. You see all the vendors, all the big companies. If you haven't been, that's a place to be.
We'll be there next year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
sure.
to. It's the shit is like fucking. Yeah, he left you hanging. That's
Let
fucked
me
up.
hanging.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, that's the place to be. Like, I've been to SEMA once, and I could care less to go back.
For us that we're fresh meat.
Huh?
For us that we're fresh meat, we really want to go.
Have you been yet or no?
No.
Don't get me wrong. It's something to see.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't help me.
Yeah.
In any way, really.
I feel like PRI would be great for us. That's
PRI is really good because you get to see, like, for us as shop owners and stuff like that, it's, you get to see tooling. You get to see every brand of dyno that exists pretty much has an exhibit out there. You get to see all kinds of stuff. And you get to talk to some of the people that you're doing business with, like, that you don't normally get to talk to. So a lot of guys that, a lot of big time vendors and stuff like that, they'll be at a couple races a year or something like that, but you never actually get to talk to them. You're thrashing on your car or whatever. For me, like, we were in the Tycon booth this year. They've sponsored my car, pretty much since the get-go, and I've never spoken to them before. I only spoke to them through Zohara Boost Logic, like one of my other sponsors, and it was nice to actually like speak to them directly, and they're like, just call me directly next time.
Yeah.
And
FaceTime, dude.
Yeah, it's way better. So like, you get to build those relationships with people, and go out and talk business with them, and figure out new products, and find, like I said, new tools. The tools are the coolest part for us. Like, we were sitting there at the ultrasonic
Geeking
cleaner
out
for
with tools.
fucking 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. That's one of the best things. I try to go every year.
And the sponsorships, right?
Yeah, so we really went there this year to talk to sponsors because it's just expensive, man. Yeah. Like, this shit is insane.
This ain't no more hobby, bro. This is life and death situations, man.
Nah,
this is a job.
Yeah, it is. It's like, and that's why that was my main focus this year at PRI, because we'll change the setup in the middle of the season. It's hard to get anything from a sponsor in the middle of the season. Their budget's already spent because it goes to the races at the beginning of the year. But like, we need some of these companies to keep the car running. Like this, unfortunately, we did the budget for the car for this year, and like, because I was trying to see like what's fair to ask for some of these people. What does it cost me?
2023
for 2024 coming up.
Okay.
Like, what does this thing cost me? And it was disgusting.
Really?
Yeah. Oh man, it's like, because you're going to a race. I'm like, fuck it, we're going racing. Like, and you're like, yeah, man, that cost me a lot of money. Like, that probably cost me $10,000. It costs to go to a major event with the toter and the trailer, fuel, food,
hotel,
paying the guys.
Yeah.
Like all kinds of stuff. If we don't break anything at all, $15,000 minimum per race.
Per race?
Wow.
Per race, yeah. So, one of my buddies the other day was telling me how
per event or per
event.
Okay.
event.
No, not per time down the track.
No, yeah.
If it was per time down the track, I'd be done.
Yeah.
Nah.
That sounds like
No.
How many
this is
events?
per event?
For a year,
We're
right?
trying to run, one a month. So think about that.
Ooh.
God damn, what?
One a month, maybe
6
10
figures.
events, maybe even 8 events. It's crazy money. So,
Low 6
that
figures.
combined with maintenance for the trailer, combined with, 2 engine refreshes a season, just maintenance in the car. You go testing. If we went to H&P, it would cost $2,500 minimum.
One night.
One night.
Wow.
Because fuel, like,
Diesel.
just service-
Diesel went up more too.
That's crazy. I know. You know what's crazy? It's cheap in Denver right now.
Really?
Like under $3 a gallon. I'm like, how the fuck is it cheaper here than it is in Houston? But
Yeah.
it's so we end up looking at it, and a full season of racing will cost over $200,000. Like $230,000. So like,
it's
impossible to do on your own without living to race. So that's why some of the sponsorships are so important. So we went out this year to try to get ahead of the curve, instead of being like in August, like, oh, I need a turbo for my car, and it's like, they want to help you, but sorry, dude, like the budget's already spent, because these are big companies. It's not like mom and pop places where they don't have a budget. Like, these guys have budgets strictly, okay, this is how much we can spend on sponsorships. So you go out there prepared and, try to talk to some people and get them on. And it's, for me, I was talking to a lot of people that I do business with already. Like I said before, because it's hard for me to walk up to like strange. I'm the only GTR. Well, there's another one now, but like one of the only couple GTRs that have a fucking 4-link in them. When I walk up to strange and say, "Hey, I need a full floater 9-inch," like I'll be able to sell one maybe next year.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not gonna sell their parts, so you got to connect with the people that you actually do business with, because it's a lot easier for sponsors to give you product than write a check. Than write you a check. I'd love to get a check. That's great because I already got products on my car, but they just can't. You know, just like anything else. So it's better for them to give you stuff. So I can't go and talk to people when I don't sell their products.
Yeah.
You know, so if I mainly focused my sponsorship stuff this year on people that have always supported me in the past and people that I know can support me in the future, because they make products for a GTR. I can sell their products for a GTR. They make products for something that I use all the time that I can always sell to my customers. So they might be able to, instead of writing me a big check, they might be able to give me a bunch of product at, for free or at a heavy discount to where I can sell it in my shop and I can make money back for the car.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's, everybody would love to get someone to write them a fucking $250,000 check, but that shit's not happening, especially not with the economy right now. People aren't just giving out money.
Right. Besides like going to these events,
Shout out to Trump. He was giving out money.
Shout out to
At one
But
point.
besides that, I mean, you're business owner, well, multiple business owner, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct? And then managing, got mechanic. I'm sure it gets a lot,
Yeah, it's hard. People don't. It's a tough industry to be in, dude.
One last question: what's the most difficult owning a shop?
That's what I was about to say. Like, it's a really hard industry to be in. Like I talk to my buddies that are in other industries, and like one of my buddies specifically, he's one of my best friends, and
Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to Dan. He owns a roofing company. He's got 2,200 horsepower perf, Lamborghini Performante that we built. He's got an STO. He's got an Aventador. He's got all kinds of shit. And he was also one of my first GTR customers. So again, shout out to Dan. But he put it to me this way. He's like, dude, listen, like when shit hits the fan, I'm selling my cars. When shit hits the fan, somebody always still has to fix the hole in their roof. So our business isn't a necessity. It's a hobby. So it makes it very difficult, especially when times get tough.
Gotcha, yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't slow down. During COVID, we were booming because everybody, again, shout out to Trump, everybody had free money.
Yeah.
And
it's true.
but
it's true.
like we were booming, but it's kind of up and down. Sometimes we're slow because it just depends on when people can spend money on their hobbies. But the most difficult part of it is like it's such a high risk. The car doesn't make it off the dyno, you don't get paid. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody owes me 40 grand and their car has an issue, which it's a car, dude. They have issues. Like
parts break every time.
We've had it's the craziest industry in the world, honestly, because we have a car out there right now. We put 2 cars on 2 lifts right next to each other with the same exact build, the same exact setup, same motor, same turbo kit, same fuel system, both on Motec. One of them left in May. One of them is still here.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You have crazy issues that you can't figure out. That car's here now for different reasons, but I'm just saying, like, it was probably another month of working on the car for free. How am I supposed to bill the customer?
Yeah.
Working on the car for free to figure out, chasing this issue that, and it happens all the time. I'm not saying that happens every day. Like, that's rare, but it does happen. And you can't get paid till that car's finished. And now you got to pay your guys to work on it every day to figure out what's wrong with it. It's just a really hard industry, and people don't see that. People see like, oh, wow, these nice cars, you must make a lot of money doing it. The margins suck, and anybody that's, aside from a couple shops that are charging crazy money, but the in and out work is what pays. The full builds don't pay. They pay, but like if the car's here getting built for 4 months and you're making 20 grand on the job, like whatever. Yeah. But now how about you're making 20 grand on the job and the shit blows up on the dyno?
Yeah.
Knock on wood, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
To us, but like it does happen. We've gone out one time where we messed something up. And first time out, last summer, customer's car cooked every single bearing.
Damn.
And it was an issue with
definitely cooking
a driveline part. that's not on the customer. You know what I'm saying? So now pretty much every bit of profit that you made on that guy's car goes down the drain. Damn. It's not a, shops are hard and people don't understand that, and nobody's happy ever. You get a guy that says, "Hey, I want to go 2.9 60 to 130."
This guy's happy.
He's not happy. He's lying.
Look at his face.
He's like,
You got a guy that says "Hey, I want to go 2.9 60 to 130."
Yeah.
They go 2.9. Why'd this guy's car go 2.8?
Oh my god!
You said you want to go 2.9.
Nice.
You went 2.9.
Yeah.
You weren't even happy for a day, and now it's why is this guy's car? I actually we only talked about draggy numbers today because that's the only way I can put into perspective how much faster these cars are than other cars. But I hate the draggy numbers, honestly.
Yeah.
Race the car.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about what number. And actually, that specific instance where I just mentioned, the guy he actually wanted to go 2.7. He went 2.7. His buddy's car went 2.6. I said, tell your buddy to take his draggy and shove it up his ass. And if he beats you in a race, call me.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, nobody's let's start at 59 and slam the brakes at 130.
Yeah.
You're going 60 to 160. You're going 80 to 180. Nobody is racing from 60 to 130. So these guys will start at 25 miles an hour and hit 60 as fast as they can possibly hit it and go to 130. And then some guys are sitting on the anti. There's so many variables for that shit. You're literally racing the computer. You're racing the fucking app on your phone. That's the dumbest shit in the world.
You'll get away faster.
Race against somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. That could be the fastest car in the world on the draggy. When he lets off the anti-like button, it could go completely sideways and you can fucking gap him with a slower car.
Yeah.
Anything can happen in racing. Like I just said, like an idiot, I torched my shit racing a guy that wasn't even fucking racing next to me. Turned on the second kit of nitrous for no reason. He didn't even leave the fucking starting line. Literally anything could happen in racing.
You weren't paying attention, man. You were focused.
I mean, you don't.
Dude, I got 5 guys on the starting line with radios. Somebody could have been like,
Yeah. I was about to say.
Don't torch it,
He's not gonna. He's not gonna go like this. Oh shit!
Yeah.
You're just fucking focused like that.
No. Yeah, not me. I was running it out the back. Blew it the fuck apart.
Yeah. Hey Dan, I appreciate you setting this up.
Yeah.
Appreciate you setting, talk with Mac. I think we talked last week, right?
Yeah.
But we're gonna get on the pod.
Well, the thing is, bro, the reason why I respect Mac, but not only Mac, the shop, like he just said, bro, none of the shops are gonna tell you what he just said. Yeah. He kept it real. The other shops try to make it all grays and sunshine. Oh yeah, we could do this in 2 weeks, and shit happens. Yeah. Anytime something happened with my car, we had my car up and running. My car has been, it's been built since what, 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah. Car been built 2020, all right? I've had those turbos on it, whatever. They put the car together, boom, running good. Hey, I'm going to come into Houston. Max said, hey, one of the turbos is smoking. All right, cool. Boom, let's switch them out. Quick. He didn't just bullshit me. Anything, something's wrong, they'll let me know. It's just, that's what I like about the shop. They always keep it 100 with me. They're not just going to do something without letting me know. A lot of shops do that.
Oh my God, yes.
And they won't inform the customer on what's going on. But yeah, I mean, that's the greatest thing in the world, and the fact that they build a V6 that a Mopar can't touch.
There's a lot of things out there that can't touch it. Yeah. Lambos at TX2K.
Yeah, Lambos.
What else?
But
what
listen,
else?
man, that shit's hard. It's
what else can't touch it? What else can't touch GTR right now?
Maybe.
All right.
The list goes on and on. It depends on what kind of racing you're doing, I guess.
Realistically, I hated to trigger people, but I just had to tell the truth, like I said, with the Mopars. But believe it or not, I don't think, if we're going to spread it out, I don't think there's a BMW out there, there's definitely not a BMW out there that can beat.
It's a hard car to beat. You know what I'm saying?
It's
even Audi?
No, an Audi R8, like I said, an R8, a Huracan, stuff like that can touch it. We had this conversation, like I said, somebody asked me the same question, PRI. Yo, what's up with Dan and the Mopars? And I'm like, yo, as much as I would love to say he's bullshitting, it's just a fucking fact. Yeah. Until somebody proves it differently, until you get a demon out there that goes on the street and goes 2.8, 60 to 130, then I'll be like, wow, maybe it can happen. Yeah. But it's just probably not going to happen. Like I said, it's no disrespect, but these guys, they said the same thing. And I'm sitting next to, my boy Vic, who has a shop too. And he said the same thing. The only thing that's going to fuck with a really fast GTR on the street is another really fast GTR on the street, exactly. Or the Lambo stuff, because that's an insane platform. Like I said, that perf I mentioned earlier, that thing goes, 2.7, 60 to 130 every time you roll on the gas. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you hit the anti-lag. It doesn't matter if you brake boost it. It doesn't matter if you just fucking whack it. It just goes. Yeah. You know, the Motec, like the shit just works so good. And the weight in the rear, like it's a good platform. But like just real quick, just to touch on what Dan was saying before and what we kind of touched on beforehand with the shop owners and this and that. Oh, yeah. There's always somebody out there that's not happy. Somebody's going to be mad about something. And something that has stressed me out for my whole life as a shop owner is trying to keep everybody happy. And sometimes you just can't. You know, like sometimes stuff happens and people don't understand. You know, like sometimes, yes, the car was supposed to be ready on Friday. Yeah. But it's not, you know, and it's not for, you know, I called a customer one time and I said, hey, man, listen, I'm calling you because these guys are ruthless sometimes. They really don't give a fuck. Like, and like I said, it's their hobby and they're on your ass. Like, if they don't get their car back, like they're going to die or something like that. You know, don't get me wrong, for an event, if I tell you your car's going to be ready for an event, it'll be ready for an event. Period. I've said that many times. Yeah. But one time I had to call a guy and say, hey, man, I'm calling you because I don't have a respectful way to answer your message. Because people are ruthless. You know, they disrespect you. They don't have any respect for your time. They really don't. And that's and I don't care who you are. That's an unfortunate truth for, I would say, 95% of shop owners. Like, but like at the same time, it goes both ways. Like we disappoint people too, and it's never our fault. I can't say it's never our fault. You know, there's plenty of things that are our fault because nobody's perfect. But like we've promised people, not promised, but like, oh yeah, your car should be ready on Friday. And something happens, it's not ready on Friday, and then they're pissed. You know, we had some guy tell us once, oh, nobody gives a fuck about my car because I'm not spending this kind of money. It doesn't matter. These guys work all night long. Yeah. You know, like. If your car,
they're still working right now.
Are they?
No, but I'm just saying, like, if we tell somebody their car's gonna get done, like I said, same thing with my own car at the track. Most people work on cars. There's not many people out there that probably are like, damn, I can't wait to take the cab off of a 6-liter today and do head gaskets. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like nobody wants to do that shit. Yeah, we do this. It's like a punishment. Like we love it. Yeah, and it's a terrible thing to do, honestly. You know what I'm saying? But like I was literally talking to one of my partners about this today. Most of these guys are here because they love to do it. The passion. They love cars, and it's never when you're working on them. It's when they go and they do something cool. Yeah. But like you have these guys, just because you're not updating them every single day, they think it's fuck their car. We rolled it outside and left it to rust. You know what I'm saying? And it gets so frustrating for you because you feel disrespected when they feel that way because you know how hard these guys work. Yeah, you know that these dudes will work. Dude, there's been times where we've worked 2 days straight, not a single, like I'm talking like not 24 hours overnight and then work the next day. And then the next night after that, don't sleep again. Oh, you know, like getting ready for TX2Ks and stuff like that. And then people have the balls to sit there and tell you, oh, you guys don't care. Like my car should have been ready. We got 15 cars out at an event. Damn. And, you know, so if, you know, the passenger side seatbelts aren't fucking installed, we don't care about their car. You know, it's ruthless. And but like I said, at the same time, like it's hard to keep everybody happy. And every shop out there is going to catch some slack. There's going to be somebody that says those guys fucked me over, this and that. And I'm sure anybody can debunk. You know, not anybody, but most of these shop owners can debunk that because it's just people's perspective. Yeah. You know, and so I just wanted to clear that up real quick. You know, because there are plenty of people like Dan is happy and he says, oh, we always, communicate with him, which he's fucking lying because I don't answer his calls half the time, you know? But like, I'm just saying, like, there's plenty of people out there that will be like, what the fuck? They don't answer my calls. They don't do that. They don't do this. There's probably people out there that are upset with us too, just like every other shop, you know?
We had multiple shops on and everybody says the same thing. You know, they have problems like, not they don't have problems, but, the customer's this, customer's that, like it's.
Like I said, man, it's hard because we love to do it. Yeah. So you push yourself way harder than anybody in any other industry. Like, dude, I always say, me and my friends joke about this all the time. Like, if I was to walk out the door one day, I'm going to work at fucking Lowe's because I can leave at the end of the day, and if I didn't give you pressure-treated wood and you wanted pressure-treated wood, fuck you after 3 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit's not my problem after 3 o'clock. I'm out till the next day, and I don't care because you don't care what happens. But
it's yellow, not green. It's straight.
With the car shit, you do care because you care about cars, and it's like one of the worst hobbies and like worst addictions to have in your life because at the end of the day, like I said, you push yourself way harder. There's not many shops out there that they close their doors at 5 o'clock. The lights are off, and they're performance shops.
Yeah, performance shops. Yeah.
They close their doors. They're out. Like, if a car is supposed to be ready for an event, you could say, hey, this thing's gonna be ready on Monday, and then you have a problem on the dyno, and you have to take it off. And you have a problem with this, you have a problem with that, and now it's Friday. It's supposed to race on Saturday, and you're working all night long. You know. Yeah. And it happens all the time. I'm not the only shop that does that. You know,
this ain't Pet Boys, guys, right?
You know,
this ain't Service King.
But Pet Boys is not 24/7.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what they
You know, this ain't Pet Boys. Pet Boys.
But it's like every year, even this year for Texas 2K, like he said, if they tell a customer whatever, y'all had a failure, and they fucking went.
We had a car back here twice.
Yeah, twice.
Put a turbo in it
overnight.
And the motor's got to come out to put turbos in them. Mm-hmm. You know, put turbos in them like. The shops that work on everybody's car, like you guys out there, like when shops are working on your car, you got to relax, man. Like, and don't get me wrong, I have plenty of customers that I'm like, that dude's the best customer in the world. Dude, I got a guy's car out there right now. I hate to say this, but the car was supposed to be done in June. It's fucking December.
Damn.
You know? Like, and it's one of those things. We thought it was going to be done way quicker than it was. We've run into a bunch of issues. We've run into unforeseen stuff that we can't handle. I call the dude. He's like, all right, man. It is what it is. What are we going to do?
And at the end of the day, it only matters with trust.
Yeah.
Like, that's what everybody cares about is trust. And, like, you know what you got. And, like, for example, he sees this, and you see the other history of other cars, he's going to trust you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Customer service as well, but when you show the work and the patience time of it, of course people be like, nah, bro, I get it. You start cooking.
Some people get it, some people don't. You know, but it's like difference between a race car guy and not a race car guy. You know, race car people that have been around it for long enough, they already know shit goes wrong.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's it's no worries. You know, I already knew shit was gonna happen. You know, but some people just don't, and it's sad and it sucks. You know, but like I said, like that one guy had just, all right, man. You know, call me, hit me up, let me know, and. That's, you know, that stuff is so much more appreciated than people think, because like you'll literally be anxious like to call a customer, you know, like to tell them that their shit's not gonna be done when you said it's gonna be done or something like that. It's just hard, man.
Got you. Dan's ready to cook now.
Man, look,
he's ready.
I'm not cooking nothing. I'm just cooking chicken.
Let him go.
Cooking.
Look, all
chicken?
I gotta say is, if you got a little bit of money. And you want to beat a Hellcat, just come to Shop Houston and we'll hook it up. Promise you.
Whatever we got to do, we'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen. Whatever we got to do, we'll make it happen. I know, man. It's just fun. It's just fun. I like getting on here, talking. You know, I mean, yes, I have a fun car, man. It's fast. It makes a lot of power. You know, Mac built the motor, you know?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to
do? It just reminded me. We did generalize at one point and say Mopars, but there are some really fast fucking Vipers out there.
Hey,
so I didn't think about that.
I
really
forgot about the Vipers.
I honestly didn't think about that.
They're not Mopars,
you said they were Mopars, though, right?
They are Mopars, but I feel like they're
I mean, listen, they're not really relevant at the end of the day. But I'm just saying, like there are some out there that will be very hurt by this and say they didn't mention Vipers, because there are some fast ones. Like there's some ones that will 100 to 150 a fast GTR too, because they make a fuck ton of power. Yeah. So I would say in that. Going back to the what's going to fuck with a fast GTR, which is a fast GTR, a built Lambo or R8, and I would say that there's some Vipers out there that can fuck them up too.
Nice. So
shout out to what's his name?
Who?
Shout out to
us.
You know.
Shout out to what's his name?
That guy.
That guy.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Oh shit.
So, I think people really want to know, and I'm trying to break the ice, but when are you racing? Maybe a Hellcat Demon.
Man, it's whenever we can. I don't want to just race any Hellcat or Demon.
Yeah.
It's got to be a specific one that's worth it.
Yeah.
Because if I race one that's like Max said, if I race one that's not the fastest, you didn't.
Somebody's
race the
always gonna have shit to say.
Somebody. Yeah. So I want to, might as well race the fastest one that I can find that's worth it, like a big twin turbo one or whatever, But unfortunately,
I mean, it doesn't matter anyways. There's so many fucking fanboys
big Maggie
for those
one,
pieces of shit.
Yeah, but
big Whipple one.
But it doesn't matter. Like I said, it's sad, but at the same time, we're still a V6.
Yeah,
and we're faster than a big V8.
I'm just saying it doesn't matter. No matter who he races, even if he races the fastest one, there's gonna be some idiot on there in the comments saying, "Well, my mother's brother, sister's cousin has one, and it's so fast, and fuck that rice burner." And
it is what it is.
Who cares?
It is what it is.
That's what I said. At the end of the day, it's all fun.
Anybody like lock the date in with you?
Man, so me and Boosted were trying. Me and
2024?
Boosted were trying to lock something in, but I think he recently did something minor, but unfortunately wasn't able to do it. It's not a big deal. We're gonna try to make something happen. But you know, I mean, for anything on the internet, it's not worth it for me to just race a random car.
Yeah.
Like I said when we talked the last time about me racing hypercars, it's worth it. Because some people out there really don't think that my car or a GTR is as fast as I say it is, but it is, you know. Yeah. And the only way you can prove it is by actually racing something. Recently, there's a guy on YouTube, T1, built a car. This car was on a stock rim with triple eights, 20s, destroyed a Bugatti.
Damn.
You know, that it did. The Bugatti runs a 4.2 60 to 130, 4.5 or something like that. This GTR walked it like it wasn't moving from a dig, you know? And the thing is, like, people don't realize, like, I just was speaking some facts from a roll. So let's go to that real quick.
Some facts with a little bit of salt in there.
But at the end of the day, everybody's on there saying, DanRue is the biggest clout chaser is. At the end of the day, he does it for a living. He literally makes a living off of making content.
I wanted to ask,
you know?
So like, how was the after, like the aftermath of the podcast?
Man, if I didn't have everybody call me out, like he said, his brothers, sisters, mothers, cousins, nephews, nieces, uncles, everybody tagging me, wanting to race me.
He went viral.
viral.
Facebook, TikTok, YouTube,
everything.
That just goes to show you how many fucking shitty Hellcats there are out there. There's a bazillion of them,
son.
Everybody's always. I'm just like I said. I'm not being disrespectful.
To it. Like I said, from a roll, and people are like, oh damn, why don't you dig race your car? Like you said, we've already covered the fact that it's expensive. You know, whatever. If I do put a tire on the car, it will beat the fastest Hellcat, regardless. But I have friends that have GTRs that would be more than happy to race from a dig. So
that's what I'm saying. They want to do it because it's DanRue. Because he said something about a Hellcat, so we'll race his car. But like, he didn't say that he wanted to drag race. So you can say, sit there, race like a man. Like we have plenty of other cars that can race like a man, but nobody wants to pick on those.
Yeah. So the road race guy.
Yeah.
Will you be the drag race or the dig race guy for?
Yeah, so you set it
and I hate to say this because I fucking love street racing, but as long as it's at the track with a good, because now the car's set up for radial racing. We set up this year to run X275.
Yeah.
So it's got to be on a good prep surface. Like I said, as much as that pains me to say that, because I used to like I said, if anybody had $5,000 that they wanted to bet, we'd drag this bitch on any street. Period.
Do you have a car here for no prep?
Yeah,
we can put any, like, that is the big advantage, when people say, all-wheel drive, this, that. At the track, all-wheel drive is not an advantage. This car goes way faster rear-wheel drive than it's ever going all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
It's not an advantage, and anybody that says it is a fucking liar.
Yeah.
But again, unfortunate truth is, if we put any GTR out there that makes even 1,000 horsepower against any rear-wheel drive, Hellcat, whatever. Now, don't get me wrong, you'd have to put a fast car down for a real fast track hawk or something like that. But in terms of the Hellcat, Demon, whatever, like they work really well. They work good on the street. We went 790 something on asphalt back in the day with my car on the street. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Mac's car, last time it was DTC, DTC ran the Unicorn, and he's the only car to beat the Unicorn.
Yeah, you said it last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was on Hoonigan, right?
Yeah, that was, dude. We love racing with those guys.
Great guys.
It's a really good time. Awesome group of guys, and that was one of the most. I've been on Street Outlaws like 3 seasons. Like
what season?
We were on Fastest in America.
Okay.
Against Memphis, so it's like everybody against Memphis, and it's been, that was fun. The Hoonigans, in my opinion, was
the best.
Way better.
You got the
it was a blast.
Sick, man.
Yeah. Talking about Hoonigans, even when we were talking with him, right? Gary?
Yeah, we're talking to Gary.
Talking to Gary. And it's like, he wants y'all. He wants Boosted Lucky.
Well, I'm already connected with them. Well connected. I've been on the phone with them, but it's just finding the time for Boosted.
He's ready for
to
you.
do that on there.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
He's ready for you. He's content hungry, but we're ready to go.
I'm sure he is. Well, I mean, look, I'll talk to Gary. I'll talk to talk to them, and we can line it up if he wants to. But like I said, it's all unboosted because my car's just ready for whenever.
We could talk about it, right?
What?
He was like, he wants content that's already like popular.
Has some hyper on it.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm definitely down to race boosted
Because you guys are really like kind of like one of the.
We've already talked, and he roll races, so it's not a problem. He's on the highway all the time, roll racing. It's just whatever. I'm down. Like boosted wants to. If he would say, let's line it up tomorrow. Like, even if I can't drive it, if I'm not here, I'll say fuck it, man, drive my car and gap him real quick. It's not a problem.
Damn.
Come on, man.
I'm being honest.
Got it, man.
If I have, I have a job too, just like anybody else. I got shit to do. I travel. I work. Sometimes my car stays in Houston most of the time. Los Angeles is a horrible place to have a modified car. Everyone knows that. Yeah. It's horrible how the society is because they're more worried about a damn exhaust on it or an intake on a car rather than someone doing drugs on the side of the street right in front of the public.
Dude, Yellow Jacket was saying some crazy stuff, man. He was just saying about racing. He doesn't even care. Who? Yellow Jacket. Yeah. He's a savage with street racing, man.
My boy Yellow Jacket, man. He's
blood, sweat, and tears on street racing, man.
Yeah, he is. For sure. He is.
Dude, street racing is the best shit in the world.
Yeah. But even Yellow Jacket, did you ask him? He started with Hellcats. He got out of those slow things.
Yeah.
He did. He's a smart man. He's a smart man.
Mustangs.
He's a smart man.
He likes
Mustangs are fast. They are fast.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Obviously,
he's a maniac, man.
Yeah. But
street racing. So what if? So you would be the So you would street race, right? The 50 roll.
Yeah.
Against boosted.
Oh yeah.
What about, man? I feel like it's because what if they have a dig street, like a street, dig race?
What do you mean, like?
Y'all have a car?
Yeah, that's what I was starting to say before. Okay. Like they pretty much will all work as long as you set them up. Like they'll pretty much all work. So if it was something that had
this one.
No, this one's turbo 400. It's rear wheel drive. It's set up. It's got a 4-link. It's set up for radial. So like to get the car to even like remotely work, and it still wouldn't be that fast. Gotcha. It's just not set up for that. The weight distribution's terrible. If we were building it to race rear wheel drive no prep, then I'd have a bunch of weight in the trunk, and we'd have weight moved towards the back of the car, and like it would, the 4-link setup would be totally different. It would be on a slick instead of a radial. Yeah. Long travel front suspension. Like there's all kinds of shit that people do to make the stuff work on the street. Yeah. But we can, if there was something that was worth racing, like you can pretty much convince any of these guys to put their shit down the street.
Damn.
Yeah, well, man, just it is what it is. If Boosted wants to do it, we can do it. We'll talk to Gary. I mean, but
anybody else besides Boosted?
It doesn't matter. I mean, but like other than Mopar, because there's not a Mopar out there that be worth it because Boosted has the clout.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, he has the clout. He is the most popular Mopar guy. But like Max said, I beat Boosted. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, this guy's faster." So why did
Bailey's?
You know what Demonology said? He's gonna get a 170, right?
Yeah, he's gonna.
What is a 170?
A Demon 170. It's
he said,
the
what
same.
Is the 170?
I'm serious.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I have no idea what
Demon
you're
that
talking
just
about.
came out.
It's a new Demon.
Yeah.
It's costs like what, 200?
No, more than that, bro. They're
250.
They're going for 250 minimum.
Sticker.
Oh, what sticker on them? Stickers 250?
No, stickers like.
Damn, imagine paying 250 for a Dodge.
Imagine.
V8 motor.
So the car did run 890s, stock car, off the show, which is fast. Shit's fast, With nothing done to it, but it's a Demon 170. That's all it is. Just a little.
What's the 170 for?
I don't fucking know.
It runs on the 85. It's the 85 compatible. Makes like 1025.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's cool. No, I'm serious. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like
sarcastic.
The fact. No, I'm just saying,
is,
like the fact that you can buy a production car that makes 1,000 horsepower is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but the problem is the price. There's not one going for cheaper than 250 right now.
Yeah.
And then, which is
It's the hypercent of it, honestly.
Dude, 250, you can literally go and buy a fully built R8 that has turbos on it that would fucking gap that piece of shit anyways.
Yeah.
Unless you're using it for just dig racing, you know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah.
Like, because the R8s and Lambos, they do go fast. Like, people are going fast with them now. But they're a nightmare in a drag race in terms of like money and stuff like that. So it depends. It all depends on what you want to use the car for, and that's what anybody that calls me, I tell them like straight up, you need to tell me what you want to do with the car, what your goals are with it, and how much money you want to spend.
Budget. Yep.
Period. Because I'm not going to be that guy that's going to get you in the door and get you to spend a little bit, and then you won't be able to afford to get to your goal. Like, I'll tell you right right off the bat, like you can't do that for how much money you're trying to spend.
Yeah.
You know, so if you tell me how much money you're trying to spend, we can figure out how to get it done. But it's like I said, so if somebody wants to buy one of those 170s or something like that, and that's what they want to do is go 890s, then knock yourself out. But you buy one of those R8s for the same price, it'll be a way better car. You know, people will actually care when you pull up somewhere.
I think they're just buying it for rarity, honestly, because they see it as financially. Like people just leave them in the garage and keep a couple 5 years or something like that, 6 more years.
Isn't that what they said when the Demons came out?
Yeah.
There's only gonna be a couple of them. They're gonna have skinnies in the trunk. And now fucking everybody's got them, and then everybody also put the body kits on everyone in Houston.
When Demons came out, it was a good investment. They were like 89, 90.
Yeah.
They're not 200. So if
They're now 200.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So investment wise, you know,
Yeah.
it would have been good.
Yeah.
So these cars the Demons are 200 grand.
Yes.
Okay,
200.
And they're
Yeah,
worried
they
about
are, they
how
are.
much a GTR costs?
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, they're
Christ.
200.
Again, you're paying $200,000 for a Dodge.
Man, we could go get a used GTR for 50
Retail,
grand, build it
Like
for,
off the lot was, I think was that 2018?
Yeah.
2018 when they first came out, they were 89, 90.
Yeah. And at the time, they were
200
saying
grand,
they
go
were
buy a
texting.
Viper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even, they're cheaper than that. Is it? Like
Yeah,
180,
the
170?
Vipers actually were super cheap before like
Yeah, they were
COVID.
like 115, 120.
They were
yeah.
like cheap, but like some of the not ones that don't have like any crazy packages, they were under 100 grand, like 70 something.
That's crazy, man.
80 something. Now they're so expensive, but
Because
that's crazy.
People were thinking that like the V8 motors were like the reliable V12s or something, or the reliable V10s or something like that. At
Reliable
one point,
V6.
huh?
Yeah.
And then it was just like going crazy. But what were you gonna say?
Dan's not gonna talk about this no more. This your last podcast, right?
This is my last.
Last time
Jesus
addressing this issue.
This is the last time addressing the Mopar situation.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
just
yeah,
say
yeah.
that
Yeah.
because I don't need to explain myself, and people are like, all he does is talk, blah 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 blah,
and dance.
I don't see no racing and dancing. All he does is dance. He don't know shit about cars. I'm like, bro, like I don't need to explain myself. I've been in cars for a long time.
Yeah.
Took a break for a while.
Yeah.
You know, after losing my pops, but I'm good. You know, like fuck it, it is what it is. But yeah, the Mopar shit's done, bro. I'll find a Mopar. Line it up. I already said I like to roll race, what I fucking like to do. So if somebody has the balls to fucking race me from a roll, I'll shit on them. And then
Well, you say that, but then again, it's like you're not gonna wait like that, and that's what I said.
It's a never-ending battle.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's what he does for a living is make content.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
if you can't go out and race every single person, because then at the end of the day, seeing him beat a Hellcat is getting old.
Yeah.
You know, so you choose your battles, choose who's gonna get the best content, who's gonna make the most views. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
what I said. I
because
don't race anybody.
yeah, that, you know, you can't just go out and race every single Hellcat. There's 400 of them when we leave the parking lot.
Yeah.
If we go
He's
to
right.
Pluckers right now, there's probably 40 in the parking lot.
No, there's no Hellcats
But
around
he's
here.
right, and
There's
that's,
just
that's the
GTRs.
thing is I do content for a living,
Yeah.
so I'm not just gonna race any damn car. It's gotta be worth it. Gap him. It's over with. Okay, done. Now I can move on to the next
What's
thing.
after Hellcats and Demons?
I wanna. I mean,
No,
But-
it
and
seems
then
there's
no-
a-
no-
it seems
no-
like there's
no-
a
no
never-ending,
Bugatti.
Plethora.
Yeah.
well,
of
see, the
those.
thing is, that's the thing. Like,
I want to
people-
race F1s.
I definitely would. And let's clarify this: the hypercar thing. I know people don't buy the hypercars just because they think it's going to be extremely fast. It's a one of one. It's a
Yeah.
it's exotic. No one else
Yeah,
has
you
it. It's a
can park
flex.
in certain spots
Yeah.
at the Cars and Coffee.
Yeah, you get the VIP parking at Cars and Coffee to
Oh,
impress
I got-
12-year-olds. But other than that, but the thing is, my car, like I said, will beat one of those and with ease.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the turns because it's not a turn; it's a straight line car. But
Anything after though?
I mean, man,
I think it would be a good like snowball effect. Beat somebody like that, a big YouTuber, and then beat somebody else that's a big YouTuber that's got a fast car. Because I'm sure just by saying that, like pretty much anything else besides another GTR or another Viper or another Lambo, there's going to be all those guys in between that think that their car could beat them too. So I think it'll be something that'll work out.
there's people that are blind to the fact. There's so many people online that think a Plaid is faster than my car.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, like,
You got. Why don't you just go randomly? Why don't you go rent a Plaid, and then just beat it and just be like, look, this is what I could do to a Plaid.
I need to do that. I need to beat a H2, a
Highest
Plaid.
comments, man.
Oh,
You
the
want
bike?
to rent a
Yeah.
Plaid?
I'll rent a play.
You want to do it? We
Let's
do
rent
it.
a Plaid,
Yeah.
and then we'll make content, and then we'll race him. So
Yeah.
if he beats us,
I don't trust. I
No,
don't trust.
what'd you
trust
say?
him, but
I don't trust
Wait,
you
what'd you
either.
say?
You drive like shit.
Wait, what did you say? What did you just tell me?
They were
We'll
just
rent a
arguing
Plaid.
about who
And
drives
then what
what.
did you say?
I don't
We'll
trust-
make content about it,
And then
and
you
then
said-
you can put it out that you beat a Plaid.
Yeah, because you said if I beat you, I definitely will beat the
Oh
class.
no, I mean, I'm sure you'll beat that fucking class.
Just
I don't know. They're gonna have to figure out who's driving it first.
I ain't driving.
He's definitely not driving.
I ain't
He
driving.
can't drive for shit to save his life.
All right, you can go ahead, talk shit, whatever. Stupid little camera you got.
It's a battery. All you gotta do is push it.
I gotta ask an important question because I thought this was fucking silly, honestly. And I'm sorry I'm cussing, but it really got to me.
You mean, watch your mouth, man.
Oh yeah, if you're not allowed to cuss on here, we're about to have the whole thing's over.
Check this out. What do you think about when people say people get Bugattis to pull women, or people get Bugattis to like flex? You know what I'm saying?
It is a flex.
Yeah,
It's
but
definitely flex.
really, women though?
Yes.
Oh
Like-
no.
Yeah, that's what
Absolutely
they.
not.
Yeah, that's what they
Dude,
think.
cars
no.
get
No,
more.
that's
That's what they think.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
might think that they're gonna get women, but like you get
People are like people don't like. There was a comment that said, you know, people get Bugattis and Chirons and all this and that, Koenigseggs, or like you know to get women or you know.
That's
shit
what they
like
What
that.
are you,
And I
Italian?
mean,
just
half
like-
those old fuckers probably have wives already, anyways. They don't need to be worried about what girls are getting.
Yeah.
And to every one girl, there's 45 guys lined up to talk to you about that car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's cars in general. You know, like there's. I'm
dick
sure,
chaser.
sure. There's car girls out there that are impressed by cars and this and that. They might be impressed by a car like that because it's expensive.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck about that. Only guys.
Yeah.
Big dick magnets. That's
There
all
you
they
go.
are.
That's a word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the dick
Yeah.
magnets.
Now, all
I was
the
gonna-
cars.
My thing was like if you got to get a Bugatti just to get a girl, like
Kind
Oh,
of
no, I
Yo,
feel
sad.
something's
bad.
wrong
I
with
feel
you.
bad.
You know what I mean?
If,
Like,
that-
Yeah.
if people are like thinking that they're
Some
gonna
people think
get,
that.
they're gonna go buy a Bugatti and that's what's gonna get them a girl.
Bro,
Go
that
get
was
a
like-
Bugatti. That probably does.
Andrew
That,
Tate.
that probably does happen, but
yeah, but
You gotta,
Yeah.
you're trying to be like Andrew Tate. You know, you gotta be bald, wear some sunglasses and a goatee.
other than
You
that,
gotta get a Bugatti.
it could be a flex, but it's still gonna be a flex for the guys.
but the
Yeah.
guy,
You know
For the
what I'm
guys,
saying?
yeah.
it's, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. If I had fuck you money, I might
Probably.
be interested in buying one.
Yeah. Fuck
But
you money. Definitely
I'm
get
not
a
like-
Koenigsegg.
This is gonna get me. Some
Will you
bitches.
modify it or just
Yeah,
keep it stock on a Bugatti?
I don't even know if you can modify.
Man,
I'm
right.
not rich enough to know if you
Oh,
can
yeah.
fucking modify a Bugatti.
Yeah, yeah.
Put it that
Well,
way. Like people
well-
say, do you need to see the new Ferrari came out? Fuck no. I don't have any business seeing if new Ferrari, seeing what new Ferrari came out.
I didn't see it, but I got something to gap the fuck out of me.
Look, like you can take a Bugatti. I think they got only one person I think I've ever seen work on a Bugatti is Gintani. I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's yeah. And shout out to Gintani, but I can bring my car to California and we can roll against whatever Gintani's got. I can take that out for him.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice.
Well, hang on.
Hang on.
He's talking about the Bugatti.
yeah, the Bugatti.
There's
Hang
probably
on.
some fast Lambos coming out of the shop.
Yeah, yeah.
So the
like-
whatever.
Yeah, the Bugatti and
Really go-
Gintani.
I couldn't really see him like calling out
Yeah.
Dan. You know.
Well, the thing is, I'm not dumb too. I didn't go on the internet and say, "Hey, my car can beat all the Lambos." I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
there's a
that's-
Lambo in here that would get my shit. you
That's
know?
why that's why it's funny, like, because you have people that comment on it and like it's sometimes it is funny to argue with them because they really don't have a clue. You know, like
Yeah.
sure, he dances and he makes content and this, that, the other. But like at the end of the day, what he said is realistic. You know, it's not. And like I said in the beginning, we went through this already all in the beginning. Like it's just a fact at the end of the day. Like you go and look at the numbers. People love looking at numbers. They love bench racing, this and that. Find a you know, we don't say any numbers about Dan's car. Not that it's a grudge car or this and that, but like I don't even think find a Demon or a Hellcat or anything, a Trackhawk that's in the twos, 60 to 130.
Yeah.
You know, and these cars do it like religiously.
So, like he was saying, there's a trick to draggy too. Your car will definitely run a lot faster time from a dig and a draggy. I've seen guys like from a dig, it's like 1.8 on a track or something like that.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
6130 is insane.
So from a roll, it's different.
because it's very hard. Like the Vipers, that's why the Vipers don't 60 to 130 that well.
It's like 2.8 is the
because
record or something like that.
they're when they start, I want to say, and I don't know anything about them, so I want to say that like they're still in first gear till almost 60 miles an hour. So like they're not going to put down any power in first gear, and then they have to shift second. So like there's all kinds of different strategies to 60 to 132. Like even the GTR, if it's got big turbos, it's really hard to get the spool in third at 40 miles an hour.
Right.
But the second to third shift, if you can get at the spool fast in second gear, second to third shift is really violent. So like, there's all different kinds of ways to do that stuff too. But it's just at the end of the day, like I said, race your car against another car. Who gives a fuck what your cell phone says?
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Oh, one last question. What's the future for the shop Houston and the car?
The car, like I said, this year, I think we just freshened it up for PRI, which it needed. It hadn't been freshened since the beginning, like literally since we put it together. So we freshened the engine bay up, and I think this setup is going to stay for a while. We're trying to race X275 this year. That's what White Rice is racing until they were racing this year. Yeah. There were really no other imports in X275. But it's a competitive class. It's a good radial race. I like racing with my friends. All my, bunch of my buddies from back home, they're tuning pro mods, working on pro mods. Some of them are racing pro mods. Yeah. So going and being at the events with those guys. And like I said, I also love grudge racing. Ooh. So getting the car to work on a 28-inch tire. You can go out to some of these events like Hell at the Dale, and there's bad motherfuckers out there. 3-second cars. Like that. This thing's not gonna fuck with. But at the end of the day, it's the energy. It's fun. Like, I love racing my car. That's why we did the Turbo 400 in the first place, because it eliminates the possibility of breaking your trans every single time you come out. Yeah. So
if you want to get down, hit them up.
Hit them up.
So the future of this thing is really just to keep racing. That's it. Like, I don't have a goal next. I don't have like a, I want to win an X275 race. Hopefully this season. I would say that's my next goal. But other than that, the future for the shop is to keep doing what we're doing. Like I said, it's important that everybody knows that we work on a little bit of everything. I've got multiple different guys. I got guys that know how to work on, tear the Lambos down to bare bones. I've got guys that know, are really good at this stuff, that stuff. We do a lot of everything. You don't see that usually. And that's probably our fault for the way we're marketing it. But, that's it. Just keep working.
Nice.
Keep grinding.
Tell them Dan sent you.
You get a % off? No,
no,
it's best with
no,
you get an upcharge.
Yeah. You get your phone calls not answered as much.
Oh,
Dan said it would be super fast.
It ain't fast.
Hey, I called over. Damn, DanRue said that if I come over and bring that GTR, you make it faster than the Hellcat. Well, yes, sir. We sure can.
Yeah. Hey, I need a package. I need the Hellcat,
like
the Hellcat,
Hellcat killer package.
Hellcat killer package.
Yeah, it's bolt-ons.
Oh shit!
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to Go Hard Podcast.
Banger.
Man, it was such honor to talk to Mac, the car, and with his car, obviously. The shop Houston, appreciate it so much. Thank you, Dan, for putting this together.
My boys.
If you ever need anything, Dan, content, whatever, we'll be there.
Appreciate you.
If you race lucky, we got you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We outside and we stay inside.
We outside, but we stay inside. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow DanRue, TikTok, Facebook, all the platforms. He's on there.
YouTube,
Instagram,
everything.
YouTube. Check
Twitch.
out Mac.
Twitch.
The shop Houston, YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, right?
I don't think we, honestly.
No.
Okay. I don't think we do.
Just follow Instagram mostly.
Instagram, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Check them out if you want to grudge race them. The minimum bet is 50 grand.
Hold on. How much will you grudge? Like real quick, how much will you grudge? 15? 20?
It depends on who you're grudging. I can't be like, I'll grudge for 20 grand now. And then I got somebody that's got a gangster.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
true.
But also, real serious grudge cars probably won't race this car because guys that are real serious about no time racing and grudge racing, you race a car that lights the boards, and you beat it, then people know how fast your shit is. Yep. Or if you lose to it, then people really know how fast your shit is.
That's true. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of times you'll go to a grudge race and it'll say, if you've posted times within the last year, you can't race.
Yep.
So
All right, so $1 million. I'm just kidding.
Nah, guys, check them out. I mean, you need your GTR build, R8, Lambo, you name it, they could do it. LS, that's our
JDM.
thing. But
JDMs.
they got it. They can get it done. Thank you for watching Go Hard Podcast. Make sure check us out on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. The shorts on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Thank you so much.
Also follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Facebook, _Team Billet. Y'all don't forget, because you always forget, but we out here.
Sorry.
Keep going.
Appreciate it. Peace.
Peace.
later.